Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any questions regarding this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have videos that you would like me to make, please send me an email. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Today's video is a good example how requests from viewers help me to create new videos for my channel, and I particularly enjoy the challenge in creating new dishes. 4 days ago, I received an email from John, who lives in Guntersville, Alabama. In this email, he said, "I'm writing today to see if you are familiar with a dish known as fragrant shrimp. This dish was on the menu of my long-gone favorite Chinese restaurant back in the 1980s. I knew I had found a special restaurant the moment I walked in. The first thing I saw was 3 tables full of elderly Chinese. Anyway, the fragrant shrimp they offer had big fat shrimp, bamboo shoot, straw mushrooms, onions, and a brown sauce that was quite spicy with either Chinese mustard or wasabi. Each bite was alarmingly pungent, but the spice could be dismissed with a sip of oolong. It was a remarkable sauce. The original restaurant burned down years ago, and their other locations has changed owner and now features a very standard New York type menu. Nobody that works there now ever heard of fragrant shrimp. If you could help me recreate this marvelous old dish, I would appreciate it greatly. I thank you for doing what you do." After reading through the description that John has provided to me, I have come up with the following ideas. First of all, I'm going to use some jumbo shrimp. This will be 16 to 20 shrimp. They will be large and, as he said, they will look nice fat shrimp. And then for the bamboo shoots, I'm going to substitute it with asparagus. And I think asparagus actually will taste better. I'm going to cut it in such a way almost like bamboo shoot. And for the straw mushroom, I'm going to use portobello mushroom instead, which I have them on hand. And personally, I prefer portobello mushroom over straw mushroom. And to provide pungency for the dish, I'm going to use some jalapeno pepper. I'm also going to use some fried chili in oil sauce, and this will give the dish that typical Chinese pungent mustard flavor. Now, John called this a fragrant shrimp, and the question is that where the fragrant come from? And from my experience, the best way to introduce fragrance to a dish is to add basil. In fact, basil is frequently added to many different types of dishes. There are well-known Chinese dishes such as basil beef or basil chicken. Okay, let's go in the kitchen and start cooking. I'm going to start with 2 tablespoons of canola oil. I'm going to use my spot seasoning method to season the wok to create a non-stick cook surface. The method is very simple. All I have to do is to heat up the oil until it starts to smoke gently, and then I turn down the heat, and this is time when the wok is being seasoned. For the shrimp, I'm going to coat it with a very thin coating of cornstarch. This will protect the shrimp from the heat. This will keep the shrimp moist and tender inside. The high temperature of the oil is very important because it will help sear the shrimp. As soon as I add the shrimp to the wok, I turn the heat back to high. The shrimp will cook very quickly. I use my spatula to make sure that I stir the shrimp and cook them as evenly as I possibly can. Now, within a few seconds, I add the jalapeno pepper as well as some green pepper to the wok. And what it does is that it will modulate the temperature and it will prevent the shrimp from overcooking. And the next is that I add the portobello mushroom, and it serves also the same purpose. Now, both the pepper and the mushroom take very little time to cook. And then the next step is that I'm going to add the asparagus. Now, asparagus, I want to cook it very lightly. That's why I only add it toward the end. Everything cooks extremely fast at this point. Make sure you stir all the content rapidly so that all the ingredients will be cooked evenly. This actually is a very important technique to make sure you do not overcook the shrimp by adding other ingredients to the wok, because other ingredients will modulate the temperature of the oil so that the shrimp will cook slowly. As long as we sear it in the beginning, the tenderness of the shrimp is result from the slow cooking due to other ingredients in it. Next, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing cooking wine. I add the cooking wine when the dish is almost done because this will provide the greatest flavor of the wine, and it makes any dish that with delicate flavor to really stand out. So now the dish is actually essentially done. So I turn the heat to low. The final step is to add some cashew nuts. These cashew nuts are roasted but unsalted. I use the version that are salt because it will not affect the flavor of the dish. And I add the cashew nut way toward the end because this will provide them to stay crisp. Next, I'm going to want to create a light sauce. I use a cornstarch water suspension. I add about 1 tablespoon of this cornstarch water suspension, which makes from 1 part of cornstarch to 3 parts of water. Now you notice that the sauce is a little bit thicker than I would like, so I add a bit of water to dilute it. At this point, I want to make sure that the heat of the burner is either turned off or turned to low because everything is almost ready. I do not want to overcook the ingredients in this dish. Next, I add the basil. This basil leaf came from my wife's garden, and it is wonderful flavor to add to the dish. However, if you want to have that aroma come from the basil, you have to add it way at the end because the aroma can be easily destroyed during the cooking process, and that's why I add the basil right at the end. As you notice that as soon as I start to mix the basil into the dish, it basically disappears. In fact, you will not taste the flavor of the basil, but instead you will experience the aroma of the basil. And next, I add half tablespoon of this fried chili in oil. This will give the pungency of the dish. Together with the jalapeno pepper, it will provide the type of flavor that is very typical in a Chinese spicy dish. At the final step, I add some cherry tomatoes that came from my wife's garden. This is completely optional. The cherry tomatoes will add some flavor to the dish, but mainly it provides a visual appeal by adding color to the dish. Finally, I did a taste test. You notice that this dish, I do not use any sauce, either oyster sauce or hoisin sauce. And the goal of this dish is to preserve the natural flavor of the ingredients, as well as the pungency from the spice and the aroma from the basil.
Oh, we already did, yeah.
With a quick toaster, the dish is done. The total cook time of this dish is only about 5 minutes. As you can see, this dish is created entirely, I would call it de novo. I have never cooked this dish before, but the concept was provided to me by John. By understanding what he is looking for, I'm able to use flavor chasing, which is one aspect of my fast cooking system, by assemble the ingredients that I think it will result in the type of flavor profile, as well as the characteristics of the texture that were provided by this dish. This dish is cooked in a very short time. Everything is very lightly cooked, so the flavor of the ingredients really carries the dish. So thank you, John, for making this request. I hope this dish will be able to provide you with the type of flavor that you are looking for. Give it a try. I'm interested to hear your response. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. With flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking, it will make your home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun. So if you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. For your convenience, I have provided a link to the recipe for this dish. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.